Let me start by saying this was my favorite episode of Dragon Ball Daima so far. In this video, I will be reviewing episode 4 of Dragon Ball Daima. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out and then come back to the video. Okay, right off the bat, this episode had strong OG Dragon Ball vibes. I've actually been going through OG Dragon Ball recently, and almost one for one, it feels like a modern day version of the old show, where Goku and Bulma would go to new towns and meet new interesting people like Yamcha or Oolong. Some of them would join up with them. Some of them would be sort of anti-heroes kind of thing. And it feels like that's what's happening again. It's a complete Journey to the West story, which is what made Dragon Ball popular in the first place. That isn't a bad thing. I just find it really interesting how they managed to achieve that in the modern environment of Dragon Ball. Because not too long ago, we were seeing Goku transform into Ultra Instinct, adapting the powers of an angel, and by just powering up, he was shaking an entire universe. Whereas now, if he flies for too long, he's going to run out of stamina. And yes, I know that this happens before Dragon Ball Super, before Ultra Instinct, but my point still stands. My point is there's a lot of depowering of Goku that needed to happen in order to make this type of story possible. And if you really think about it, they've put a lot of thought and effort into making sure Goku was depowered. Like, they're like stacking depower mechanics. Not only did they go back in time before he had Ultra Instinct and all that stuff, but they also turned him back to a child. Which, to be honest, I don't know why that would depower you that much. Oh, you have a younger, more healthy version of your body. But for some reason, that just means you're 1/1000th of your normal strength. Then they get to the demon world, and now the air is too heavy for them to fly effectively. So yeah, it's a stacking of depowering mechanics for Goku and the main cast. And it's all for this reason. It's all so that they could tell this type of story. I know it sounds like I'm criticizing the show. Like, I'm not really. Like, I'm really enjoying the story and I think it's worth it. I just find it interesting and I want to point it out. But yeah, after Glorio, Goku, and Shin realized that their ship had been stolen, they set out on foot to get to the next town. They explained to Goku why flying is a bad idea. And so they set out walking, discovering the demon world along the way. They get to a part where they're attacked by this one-eyed monster, and we get to see that Glorio can actually fight outside of using his gun, which I think is pretty cool. Goku says that he may even be stronger than Shin, implying that Glorio is around a Super Saiyan 2 level threat. After that, they're attacked again by an ogre-like creature, and in that encounter, we learn that Glorio can't sense ki, which is not surprising. A lot of people not from Earth can't sense ki, including Frieza, Vegeta, and the Saiyans at first. The list goes on. Sensing ki, in fact, is almost a bit like a superpower for Earthling warriors. I do think it's interesting, however, that Glorio has no idea what ki is, but he's also as strong as he is. I wonder if this ties back into the new black and white magic system from episode 1. Is he using some sort of demonic energy that has a different name? But we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, we then move on to my favorite part of the episode, the part that I'm most hyped for. Goku is complaining about being hungry, so they stop at this diner run by an old couple of demons that's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. I wonder who's protecting this diner. That's the first thing that occurred to me. If this place is so dangerous, do they have like bodyguards? But that might be beyond the scope of this story and this episode. All right, let's get into my favorite part and what I think is one of the craziest bit of information in Dragon Ball in a while. After eating his food, Goku finds that the shop is selling these bugs. At first he thinks it's like a snack, but the shop owner comes over and tells him no, these bugs have different effects. The one that he had was called a revive bug, and it was essentially a sensu bean that restored your stamina. The way the shop owner described it, she didn't know what a sensu bean was, but she implied that it will restore part of your stamina, whereas sensu beans would fully recover you. So you might have to eat a few of these to get the effect of a sensu bean, or not. That was just my impression. She said there were lots of bugs in the area that do different, like, positive things. She listed off 5 of them. The revive bug for restoring stamina, the Achichi bug for burns, the Zutsu bug for headaches, the Butte bug for smooth skin, and the last one, I mean, you've already seen the episode, so you know what it is. But the last one is the craziest one of all. The last one is the join bug for temporary fusion. Apparently, you split the bug in half, 2 people eat half of the bug, and then they fuse temporarily, which is insane. Here's why this is insane. It's insane because there's a good chance we're going to see some new fusions in Dragon Ball Daima. And when I say good chance, I mean like 99.9% chance. Why? I could already see some people making the argument that no, it doesn't mean that. They already have the fusion dance and everyone don't go around fusing all the time. The reason why we're going to see new fusions in Dragon Ball Daima is because of this narrative principle called Chekhov's gun. And I'm sure most of you have already heard of it, but it's just the idea that if you put a loaded gun in a story in scene 1, at some point throughout that story, you need to fire that gun. Otherwise, that gun should be completely removed from the story. The fact that they're introducing a new, extremely easy way to fuse, and it's temporary, this means we're gonna see some new fusions, period. Which is crazy. We might see a Goku Piccolo fusion. We might see a Goku Shin fusion. We might see Piccolo Vegeta. I mean, yes, we might just see Goku and Vegeta again, but because of Chekhov's gun, I think it's unlikely, because it would just be a waste of this new narrative tool. And the reason why I'm picking Piccolo and Vegeta is because we know they're coming to the demon realm. But it could be Goku fusing with one of the demons or multiple demons. Who knows? Glorio and Goku fusion, maybe? This is crazy, guys. This is probably one of the most exciting setups in the Dragon Ball world for a long time. Let me know what new fusions you guys think we're going to see coming up in later episodes. Actually, let me know what you think we're going to see, and let me know what you want to see, because those two might be different. One thing that I was thinking about though is, because they're using demonic bugs to fuse, I wonder if there's going to be any side effects to that. Like, are they going to have pointy ears, or are they going to be able to use Hakai energy, like dark magic key or something? I don't know, but this is a big deal. The story continues, and Glorio, Goku, and Shin pay for a ride on a sky seed to help them get further in their journey. And it's just this plant that the diner owners launch into the air. Again, this was like super OG Dragon Ball vibes, to the point where some of it almost didn't make sense. Like, why would Shin be so concerned about them crashing into the ground? It's like Shin said he can destroy Frieza with a single punch. Frieza is able to get slammed into mountains and stand up like it's nothing. Like, even if they're currently kids, even if the air is heavy, they should be able to crash into the ground and stand up like it's nothing. Not to mention, you could just, like they did in this episode. So Shin's reaction to the Sky Seed crashing is a little bit overly dramatic, but still, it really isn't a criticism. I just feel like they're going to extreme lengths to recreate that OG Dragon Ball, that Journey to the West feel. And I'm here for it. Anyway, after all this, the episode still isn't over. They get off the Sky Seed, and Goku is hungry again. He wants to find another village, but they also have an interesting conversation about the demonic Dragon Balls. Glorio explains that you don't need to find them. Everyone knows where they are, but the defenders of the Dragon Balls are just too strong. No one's ever been able to beat them. In fact, he says there's never been a demonic wish that he knows of. Hearing this, obviously, Goku gets excited, and Goku pretty much convinces Glorio that they should go after the Dragon Balls before going for Dende. After this conversation, there is a close-up of Glorio smiling, like a smirk on his face. I'm not too sure if that was done to imply that he was manipulating Goku the entire time, like he had some sort of ulterior motive, or if that was just him being impressed by Goku being so brave. It's a bit ambiguous, but that's kind of the first seed that I've seen that Glorio may be kind of anti-hero, working for the villain at the moment kind of thing. I don't know yet. Anyway, we get to the village and see that they're currently being oppressed by soldiers of the Demon King. And this is the first time in the series, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time that the concept of the Supreme Demon King was introduced. If you remember last review, I was talking about there potentially being multiple Demon Kings at the same time, which seems like technically it's still true. Like, each world may have its own king, but then there's a Supreme Demon King of all the worlds, and that's the role that Deborah occupied in the past. It seems that's why he had statues in the third world, and it's also the role that King Goma takes on now. He's not just the Demon King, he's the Supreme Demon King. Anyway, his soldiers are terrorizing this village, this demonic village, forcing them to pay taxes with either gold or their lifespan, which I think is interesting. This is another Chekhov's gun. We will likely see King Goma use that lifespan extracting machine for something in the future, probably something nefarious, whether it's to power himself up or cast some sort of spell or something like that. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in the story. Anyway, his soldiers are terrorizing this village. A masked fighter gets involved and tries to save everyone, but they fail and are on the verge of getting bodied. Seeing this, Goku gets involved to help them out because yes, Goku is a hero and he wouldn't just sit by and watch innocent people get hurt, even if they're demons. I'm sorry, I'm so used to people saying Goku doesn't care about anything. All he wants to do is fight strong people. Like he doesn't care if the earth gets destroyed or not. Goku is a hero. Gingers do have souls. But yeah, Goku gets involved. He beats up the soldiers. They all escape. And at the end of the episode, the masked vigilante, I guess you could call them, catches up with them. She takes off her mask and we see that it's the girl that we've been seeing in all the trailers. I actually didn't know her name, but I looked it up. Her name is Pansy, which is weird because there's another girl from Dragon Ball named Pansy. You can Google it. Anyway, it appears that this Pansy is now going to be a mainstay with the crew for Dragon Ball Daima. I'm excited overall. It was an incredible episode. Like I said, my favorite so far. I'm still hung up on the fusion beans and the new sensu beans. I can't wait to see where the story goes. Let me know what you guys think. I really want to know the fusions that you think are going to happen and the fusions that you want to see happen. So please leave that in the comments below. Guys, that's it. Thank you for checking out this video. Do me a favor. Have yourself a great rest of your day. I will be talking to you again real soon. Bye.